You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Okay, let's get into this. Hi, we're Enterprise Splint.
Sorry. I was like,
I knew it was going to happen.
Braced ready. I was braced ready for your big hello.
I knew it was going to happen. Here, I'll do a little. Hi, we're Enterprise Splitting the podcast. Hello, we're Enterprise Splitting the podcast where we explain Star Trek Enterprise to each other and to you. I'm Bill, and these are my co-hosts, Jamie.
Hello.
And Maria.
Hello.
Today, our mission is a second contact. Last week, I told my co-hosts what happened in the episode, The Expanse. They have now watched the episode and are back with their thoughts, so make sure you listen to that episode before you listen to this one. As a reminder, we have t-shirts. We got them. You want them. Go to esonetwork.com. Click on the TeePublic link. You'll find them there. We have two of them, our logo and the Porthos Appreciation Society shirts. Last time on Enterprise, stuff happened. The Enterprise was attacked by a mysterious new race called the Xindi, who fired a beam at the Earth, killing Trip's sister and also
Allegedly.
7 million other people. Things got so bad that even the Suliban had to help. The Enterprise went back to Earth for a refit before launching a mission into the mysterious and deadly Expanse to find and stop the Xindi. Duras showed up and got his ass kicked 3 separate times.
Really impressive.
And through all of this, the fucking Vulcans won't admit time travel exists.
Oh my god.
So fucking annoying.
Jamie and Maria, you have finally watched the episode. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I'll start with just saying, it's funny because when you were telling us about the episode, the 9/11 of it all, I didn't really catch on to that very quickly. But watching the episode, it was clear from the beginning that it was very clearly a 9/11 allusion.
Right.
I have a ton of notes on this, and I think
Me too.
I was just so excited that so much happened. Like, they put so much into this episode. I didn't know what to focus on almost. There was so much going on.
It was rich with incident, shall we say.
Yeah, which is so rare for this show.
It's interesting because we talked about, when the show was first beginning, we talked about 9/11 had happened, so this was this, and this, especially with the prison planet that Archer and Travis got sent to. And it's but now it feels like they're really digging into it.
This felt like something that they wrote in the 3 months after 9/11, that they sat down and wrote this episode. I don't know if you want to call it good. It definitely captured the confusion and kind of numbness.
Yes.
Of the immediate
And the shock,
aftermath.
the
shock.
7 million people dead, kind of and that number, starting with 1 million, and then slowly as that number crept up and up and up, and just the horror of that number, and then even the scene where I think it's Trip and Malcolm are standing on in the ruins, and he's
Ground
the
Zero,
movie theater used to be there, and that horror of it.
And
I thought
if you
was
went
really
to Ground Zero in those first years, it was just a hole in the ground. That's kind of what it looked like. It
very
was
much so.
It just felt like it was just an obvious direct line from 9/11 to this episode. Unfortunately, I felt like it also brought over a lot of the bad aftermath parts that in hindsight we know were not good, but at that time you start with shock and then it quickly morphs into anger and revenge.
Yeah.
I get it when you have this big bad that they just attacked us because they hate us for no reason apparently, and you're now we're gonna go get revenge. We're so angry and upset, but then we're 25 years out from 9/11 now, and we know that led us to some very, very bad things.
Right.
I mean, just the Islamophobia in the immediate aftermath, but also just the U.S. government knowingly lied to the American people and the world to embroil us in a never-ending war in the Middle East that they used 9/11, like 9/11
as an excuse for
yeah,
it.
was the reason for that. And it just like looking back, it's like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have been so quick to feel like we needed to get revenge on someone.
Yeah, I think the analogy breaks down a little when you start understanding that it's the Zindi who we don't even know who that is.
Exactly.
Like they've never heard of him. It's a completely obviously that was not the case with 9/11, and there are direct ties to actions that the US took and the consequences of those actions being, showing up in 9/11, right? So I think that's where the analogy starts to fall apart, but it really does make sense in the heat of it, right? In the direct aftermath of 9/11, we've got this 25 years of hindsight to be able to talk about it, but you can really see, okay, that anger and that sort of confusion as to why us? What did we ever do?
Right.
Which was such a big part of the immediate 9/11 reaction. And so I get it. I didn't actually have yes, obviously there were big issues with how 9/11 actually played out and the aftermath of 9/11, but I think that it was somewhat problematic. But I think that, you can't, the way they did it actually was kind of interesting because they didn't use the Suliban, they didn't use the Klingons, they didn't use a species that humanity was aware of even, or had previous encounters, negative or positive, with. So they're able to sort of remove all of that gray area a little bit, right?
Yeah, you don't have an existing race of aliens that they can now be racist against.
Right.
Exactly. Which, if they had used, say, the Klingons, they could have, or or even the Vulcans or the Suliban, right? They could have easily done that.
It's hard to be racist against a race that you know nothing about.
You know nothing about.
It's actually super easy to be racist against a race you know nothing about.
I guess
that's exactly it.
Well, that's the other thing. The other weird thing about the attack was that, I guess part of I thought that the temporal Cold War was going to be over, but apparently it's not. It's a new move in the temporal Cold War. Was that this was based on the fact that the Zindi homeworld, I guess, was going to be destroyed in the future by the Earth. So
we don't know that.
That's what they said.
Oh, they did say that?
That's what the Suliban told Archer.
Well, the fuzzy
future guy.
Fuzzy future guy said. So I have a whole lot of thoughts about Fuzzy Future Guy.
Well, I just want one more thing, and I'll let you guys go. It's this was not a result of why did they attack us? Not a result of American domestic policy for the last 100 years. It's something that we haven't even done yet. Something that is going to happen.
I just felt like there was a lot in here that I recognize as a lot of that anger that led to a lot of bad things after 9/11. I mean, in the immediate aftermath, even we're saying the fuzzy future guy says this is happening. We don't know that he's telling the truth.
Right.
I mean, it's the Suliban. He could be lying. And when T'Pol tells Archer, hey, let's be a little cautious with this because we don't even know if he's telling us the truth. Archer just bit her head off. Yeah. He was just how dare you? He accused her of not supporting him. And he's I need your support. And it's sorry, she is supporting you by pointing out that you are letting your emotions get ahead of you. And you're not actually thinking about this carefully.
Jamie, that is a completely valid point. B, I think that this show has not proven that they thought that far ahead. They just want to move on to the next thing. It's we're done with so don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We're just we need to get onto the Zindi storyline. But that in any other show, that would be, if the Romulans came to the Federation in TNG or DS9 or anything, that would be a point of contention. It's should we trust the Romulans, what they're telling us about the changelings? I don't trust this show I don't think this show is.
Well, Admiral Forrest did say that he was skeptical of it too, and Starfleet was skeptical of it. And you know what? Archer did not bite their head off for saying that. He argued with them that he felt like they should still take it seriously, but he treated Admiral Forrest's caution as though it were a
legitimate concern.
Yes, a legitimate concern. Something that he did not treat T'Pol that way when T'Pol had the exact same concern.
Poor
And
T'Pol.
I get that the T'Pol thing happened much earlier, but it's still just, I think, because the show has conditioned us to look at the way like men and women are treated on the show, to see that so starkly, where like T'Pol brings this up and he just gets so angry with her and yells at her, but then later Admiral Forrest brings it up and he's like, okay, I get it, but let me like argue with you in a respectful manner. It was just so obvious the way Archer treated the two of them so differently.
I agree with you, but I think there was more than just the male-female dynamic going on there. If you think about the power dynamics, right? T'Pol reports to Archer. Archer reports to Forrest.
Yeah.
And to a lesser degree to the Vulcans. So he can't just bite their heads off, right?
But we've seen him act kind of that way sometimes with Admiral Forrest. And I just feel like if the show hadn't been like this whole time.
Agreed.
And just the fact that we saw two of basically this, like a person telling Archer the same thing and he treated them so differently, practically back to back. It was just noticeable is all I'm saying.
The thing that was interesting to me when you say that is that also happened with 9/11. Like the people who were like, do we really want to get into a war? Is this right? I mean, I remember having a conversation with one of my friends who was like, people are mad because I don't want to hang an American flag outside my house. And I just don't feel comfortable doing that. And I'm being considered unpatriotic because of it. And like, so shit like that was happening. Like if you were not 100% pro-America stance on this, you were, pro-terrorism.
Yeah.
And that was happening. I don't know that the show was smart enough to really do that intentionally.
I feel like the show is doing this so early that like they are still in that mindset.
Maybe.
And I do feel like it came out too when Trip was telling Malcolm to focus on getting the weapons upgrades online. He said it was so they could, quote, blow the hell out of those bastards when we find them.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, that is definitely like I kind of gasped when I heard that. And I get it. Like Trip, his sister maybe has died, but that is the type of language that was happening after 9/11 that led down the road to so many bad things. And to hear it here in a way where it doesn't feel like it's there to question it, it feels like it's there as the show's point of view.
I don't agree, actually. I don't think so. I think they were showing Trip is acting out of character here. He is furious, and I think they handled that quite well in that it was like this character who is usually a fairly reasonable and fairly, what's the word?
What a journey.
I know how far we've come with Trip,
avuncular.
Right?
What a journey we've been on where Trip is like, oh, well, Trip is more chill than this normally.
Right? Yeah, generally more chill about these things. And he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to admit that he's upset about, and I do think that was a reaction that people had. And I do think that was potentially intentional, that's not what
I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah,
because I agree with all of that, but it's just that I don't think I think that the show is on the side of he should be that angry and we should go quote blow the hell out of these bastards when we find them.
I don't know if the show is pressing that point of view, because Malcolm of all people was clearly like, we should talk about this, and he was clearly like, I don't know.
I mean, the Shadow Man, he wasn't. I used to call him Phasey Guy, but he wasn't that phasey. I feel like the effects were different.
He definitely
this time.
Just more silhouette-y.
Yeah, he was more like
a fuzzy
shadow
silhouette. Yeah,
and less like fuzzy than it used to be. It was more just silhouette.
They must have got the intermix better.
Somebody was up on the roof of the spaceship adjusting the bunny ears on the.
But the Shadow Man said that the Xindi wanted to destroy all of Earth and basically like told Archer that he needs to annihilate them first.
Yes.
And that too, I'm just like, I don't like this. And I mean, we don't know where this is going. We'll see where it's going.
Right.
It's kind of hard to respond, but I'm concerned about where it might be going.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. I gotta say, like, I'm interested to see what happens next, which is rare for this show, right? Like, I want to know the next. I'm excited because I think I'm doing the next episode or the first episode of the season,
Right.
and I'm excited for it. Like, I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm just worried that the Zindi are just going to be like timey-wimey Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, possibly.
You know, First Flight Pod and other people have mentioned that, like, the next season 3 is a season-long arc.
Or at least like several episode long arcs, yeah, and with an overarching arc, yeah.
I'm also just a little concerned. I'm just a little concerned.
Oh, sure.
I feel like this episode set a lot of things up where there is definitely a way that they could do this that I would be very impressed by. I'm just not convinced it's going to go in that direction, but I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's hard to trust this show based on what we've seen in the last 2 seasons, right? Every time they should have zigged, they've zagged, right?
No, they haven't zagged. They've gone in a fourth new direction.
And they've gone straight up.
I didn't know you could go in that direction.
Why would you do that?
What did you think about Arch and Trip's recap of their history with T'Pol, their late night drinking session?
I liked that. I liked them.
Good character moments in this show.
I did. I thought it was a nice character moment for the two of them. I liked that they were, you know, really sort of grappling with everything that had happened, because I think I remember very clearly after 9/11 how much that sat with me, even though I had nobody directly impacted by it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a huge thing for me, and it sat with us for a long time, and I liked the two of them sort of not being able to sleep and having to deal with it. I did like the fact that they were like, yeah, if you had asked me at the beginning of this thing, like, I'd have been thrilled to get rid of her, but now, like, she's a part of the crew.
Archer's like, who will I scream at when I'm just angry and not really at anyone and I need somebody to yell at who's not going to yell back at me?
And Trip is like, who's gonna rescue us from all the stupid shit we do?
Well, that segues into her decision to stay on the ship, to resign her commission from
is she gonna join Starfleet? Is that what this means? Like, are we gonna see T'Pol in a Starfleet uniform?
I hope so.
I'm thinking no, but they're not gonna put her in a baggy jumpsuit.
She's resigning. Like, we never saw a scene where she resigned her commission. Like, she essentially just fucked up.
Yeah, she said that she did.
She just pieced out, right? She's like, we're not going to Vulcan.
Are the Vulcans going to accuse them of kidnapping T'Pol again, like they did in one of the earlier episodes? And although they can't go into the Expanse, the Vulcans don't want to go into the Expanse.
Yeah, she better have at least sent a note saying, peace out, I resign. Because Archer was literally like, nope, don't even go to Vulcan.
She sent Saval one of those Werther's heart-shaped chocolate boxes with a note inside. Hey, this didn't work out.
T'Pol's decision to stay, it is a little strange considering that she still does not believe time travel is real, which means she doesn't think there is an actual point to this mission.
My take on that is T'Pol has been just parodying the party line. For some reason, again, let's get into this now. The Vulcans are so hung up on this that they literally tried to honey trap him with a psychiatrist to prove that he was insane. So,
I can kind of understand the Vulcans doing that, because the Vulcans, they don't like Archer, they don't like the humans, they don't trust them. But with T'Pol, it's getting annoying at this point.
Yeah.
And T'Pol is somebody who has shown that she'll change her mind with evidence.
And
she's already said that pride is an emotion, so it's not like she has so much pride that she won't change her mind on something.
Is that whatever is wrong with the Vulcans, and again, these Vulcans pretty much suck. For whatever reason, this is the thing they are fixated on, is that in spite of all evidence, and again, this gets into my idea, which I'm not sure I believe in anymore, that Fuzzy Future Guy is a Vulcan. This is what they need to hang on. They are intentionally repressing the idea that time travel exists. And so to be a Vulcan in the Vulcan military or Vulcan version of Starfleet, you have to obey that party line that time travel does not exist.
I just don't get the Vulcans were so absolutely determined for them not to go into the Expanse.
Right.
They were so, it was like, they sent the psychiatrist, they did all this stuff. Why? They don't even like Archer. They want the Enterprise to fail. I mean, they do. They want Enterprise to fail, right?
Yeah.
So why were they, it was that, there is so much about these Vulcans that makes me think they've got some other agenda, that something else is going on that they're not telling us, because they, like, stuff like, particularly in this episode where they were just like, no, you can't go. You shouldn't go. It's a dumb idea. And Archer was actually fairly reasonable. He's like, you keep doing everything that you're doing. I'm just going to go and figure this out. I'm going to try this out and see what happens. And I've got people who are willing to volunteer to do this.
So every other ship that has gone into the Expanse has died horribly. Have the Vulcans figured out that the way to get Archer to go into the Expanse is to tell him that he cannot go? No, don't throw me into the briar patch, whatever you do.
Oh my god, Fuzzy Future Guy is a Vulcan, and he's not actually from the future. Time travel does not exist. He's a current Vulcan who is has this whole plan to trick Archer.
That would be crazy if Fuzzy Future goes like, and remember, time travel doesn't exist. Wait a minute, what? Never mind, I didn't say that.
I have to say, the video of the other ship that went into the Delphic Expanse, where it was like the video of them all like attacking each other, had like really good like cuts, zoom in. I was like, who is producing this? Like, there were like
camera angles come from?
It wasn't like security camera angles. This was like there were cameramen filming this and like editing it together well. Amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is exactly the note I made. I'm like, this is just a Vulcan horror movie that got played.
I was laughing so hard at that.
Yeah, there's a little caption at the top of it. Delphic Expanse supercut horror best scene from crew killing each other.
And then on like the Vulcan still not believing in time travel, just the quantum dating thing made me so annoyed.
Boy.
I just, if there was a way that they could just prove that things are from the future, they 100% would have done it on T'Pol would have done this on Daniel's items to like prove it to herself, and never did. I just like, they're just coming up with this quantum dating thing. Any kind of dating is going to tell you like how old something is. It's not going to tell you where in time it was created. That makes no sense.
Well, here's my question about the quantum dating device is this a thing that just exists in Starfleet, or did the Suliban give that to Archer, which is...
No, Archer was the one that had the idea. Archer was like, I'm going to prove it to you.
Okay, so this is just a thing that exists in Starfleet.
No. The fuzzy guy told him how to prove it. He said, but the device, the quantum, device... The scanner was something that they had because they had two of them. Remember? Because he was like, well, something is wrong with this. And they're like, well, try another one. So it's clearly just a device that a tricorder device that they have to be able to test it. So, because otherwise they would have just been like, yeah, what the fuck device is this? We don't know how this works. It could say anything. So it has to be something that they had already. It's like, okay, fine. It's some, Star Trek magic that's how they
That's
dated
fine.
it.
That does not bother me at all.
Yeah, me either. But I do think that it's wild that after being shown what appears to be clear evidence, they still sent a shrink to try
That's
to
the
prove
crazy
that Archer
part
is
about
crazy. What are these Vulcans? I do not understand.
Yeah.
The fuzzy guy, he said the reason that he wants him to do this is because he doesn't want the Xindi to contaminate the timeline.
Right.
But isn't that everything that they've been doing?
No.
No, they've been trying to fix the timeline, I thought.
No, they've been helping the Suliban fuck with the timeline.
I thought the Suliban had been trying to like put the timeline back because other people were fucking with
No,
the
no, no, no,
timeline.
no. Here's what's going on. Is that there are multiple competing factions trying to fuck with the timeline. Now, the fuzzy future guy wants X. He wants the Federation to not exist, or he wants
or whatever
they want. Now, if this
we don't know.
If this other faction
idea.
comes, because they have tried to save the Enterprise, he's never tried to kill Archer.
Because the other faction tried to destroy the Enterprise, and then
Right.
and then Silic saved the Enterprise.
Yes.
This whole time, like, it's not clear to me what the Suliban have done that's really that bad. Like, it seems like they're actually been helping them.
That's the big problem with
time.
the Suliban and the temporal Cold War. But if the Xindi destroy the Earth, nobody knows what's going to happen. Then they can't get whatever it is they want.
Yeah, I talked to Stephen a little. Stephen and I were talking about this too, and he said he wants to contaminate the timeline in his way.
Right.
He wants his timeline. His timeline changes, not these other guys.
Everybody has their own timeline that they want, and then they're all like doing shit to get their timeline.
Which is why time travel sucks, to Maria's point.
Yeah.
Also, the time travel sucks so bad. Also, I laughed so hard at the Suliban appearing on the ceiling of the bridge.
Oh,
I
so
know.
fantastic.
I know.
I laughed so fucking hard
Me
at that.
too.
I was like it's a parasite situation. There's a Suliban on the Enterprise at all times. He's just hiding.
Can you imagine if one of the upgrades to the Enterprise when they're back to Earth is just putting those pigeon spikes all over the roof? So every time the Suliban try to crawl along the ceiling, they spear themselves.
Okay, we can talk about the Klingons now.
The Dora stuff, it felt out of place in this episode.
Sure.
It felt like every time we had the Dora stuff, I was like, wait, let's get back to the interesting thing. And he was so ineffectual, too, that it never felt like the Enterprise was in danger. Every time Dora showed up, they just kicked their ass right away. And then it was like, I'd forget about him, and then it's like, oh no, he's there again.
Fucking Klingons showing up again.
Doros went all the way to Earth to like get them right when they got there or whatever, and then was immediately failed, but then hung around presumably for like weeks or months just waiting for them, and then attacked them again and got its ass kicked again.
I have a theory about that.
My note on this was, why
Yeah.
did he meet them so close to Earth? Because he would have been fine. The reason that he failed at Earth was because Earth sent a bunch of other ships to kick his
it
ass.
seemed really stupid.
So why would you not just catch them halfway through, and then you would have kicked their asses?
Yeah,
It
just
would have been
follow
fine,
them.
Unless they just didn't know where they were, the path that they were taking.
I enjoyed those scenes a lot because I found them hilarious. My theory is those scenes are put in there so that Enterprise / the Earth gets a win. Like, we saw the Earth get attacked. We have this alien race that we know nothing about, but we need to show that these guys can kick some ass. And now they've got better weapons and better armor. And
Is
so
it
the
a
Klingons
win
show
when
up.
they're fighting like a bozo?
Like such a bozo too.
There was no world in which Doras was going to get anything off on them. Even the incompetent Enterprise crew is like, they look so good compared to Duras. Maybe that was the point. Maybe Duras was supposed to make the Enterprise crew look competent.
Maria, did you feel like Duras's helmsman was his project manager? It was like, this isn't gonna work!
This isn't gonna work. I actually have a note about. Well, I have two notes. One is Duras at one point says, "I will not fail," and I'm like, "Yeah, you will.
Yeah, you're gonna fail.
You absolutely will." Right, early on, but based on what we know about the Klingons, after he failed the first time, shouldn't his first officer have like thrown him in the brig and taken over? Because that's
Killed him,
like
yeah.
he failed or killed him.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Like, I mean, by the end of it, you kind of almost felt bad for the guy. Just kept getting his ass kicked every single time. This is a Babylon 5 reference, so not many people will understand it, but my note is the Klingons in this show are the fucking Drazi of Star Trek, because the Drazi in Babylon 5 are like the annoying, like, if there's a fucking fight or a fucking brawl or a problem, it's going to be the goddamn Drazi, and that's what the Klingons feel like in this show to me. 3 people will get that reference.
I'm so sorry. We have to talk about distance. And because it's within this episode, The Delphic Expanse is established as being 50 light years from Earth, and they say that at warp 5, it will take them 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
We know, like, however many episodes ago, they said that the Enterprise was at that point 130 light years from Earth. So we don't know where they went from then. Maybe they went closer to Earth in like the months after they were 130 light years away. But that means basically they were 100% between like 100 to 150 light years away from Earth at the time that they got the call to return to Earth. So best case scenario, and that's assuming that they've been like moving closer to Earth for the last couple of months, it would take them 6 months at max warp to get back to Earth. But probably it was more closer to 9 months. And it definitely sounded like at one point, I think it was mentioned that a couple months had passed, so it did take a couple months. But like
it said
6
months.
to 9 months at max warp, where you're not stopping and doing anything, is like a really long time.
I was just happy that they actually said, "Oh, it's been months," because, like Malcolm says, there was a memorial service a few months ago that we missed or whatever, and. But at least they were vague. Yes, that's crazy that it was not 6 to 9 months or whatever, but at least they didn't say it was 3 days,
Right.
Yeah.
Which is what they would normally do.
Eric was like, they must have watched so many movies. Because it's boring when you're at warp, because there's like nothing to see out the window. You're not like they don't have any like science work to do.
Yeah.
Usually, like, when they're at warp is like their free days. So now they just have 9 months to just watch like every movie on that movie list they could have watched.
Well, you're missing the part where they had to go back to that alien race that's super offended, and Archer had to do like a bunch of more apology rituals to get fuel so that they could go back to the...
When they get back to Earth, like, they've now been gone like probably around 2.5 years at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been nice to see some sort of scene of people like greeting family members. I was thinking like maybe I get that they may not want to introduce like be cast in like parents for like characters we know and stuff, but even if they just shown like extras in Enterprise uniforms like hugging people in the hallway and like meeting their family or something, it would have just been nice. It feels like it should be this huge thing, this crew that's been away for 2.5 years coming home finally. I just felt like we were missing some sort of like homecoming moment.
I agree, but there was just so much going on in this episode.
Know. Well, if they took out the Dora stuff, which really I felt like did
one
not
of
have
the
to be
Dora
there.
things.
Yeah, I feel like they
could
could
have
just devoted 3 minutes to something. I did like we got a little bit of that with the Malcolm trip scene in his hometown, but I would have liked something about like people being like happy to see family members or just something or friends or
even a reference to I had dinner with my family or whatever.
Yeah. They should have had a scene with Hoshi's dad where he's like, "You haven't become close with anybody on the ship, are you? You aren't treating them like family, are you?" No, Dad, I'm not.
Okay, so can we talk about Malcolm? How did Malcolm suddenly become the emotionally mature one in this? Like, Malcolm was nice. He was kind. He was empathetic to Trip. He could tell that Trip was upset. It was weird as hell.
Eventually, Trip became so weird that even Malcolm had to step in. Dude, you're creeping everybody out.
Yeah, this is weird, man. You gotta do something.
I mean, I interpreted that as shock. Like, he seemed like he was in shock, like that post 9/11 shock.
Yeah.
Where he just like didn't know what to do or how to react. And the three of us were definitely old enough that we went through this. And I definitely feel like there was like trauma responses that lasted for up to like a year where 100%. It was just like you didn't know how to react to things, and different people, some people reacted by getting angry, and some people reacted by just like turning in on themselves. And I feel like that's kind of how Malcolm was. And
then you would meet people that had been affected. Before I get to my wrap up here, the T'Pol Phlox scene where she's like, "You're really gonna stay on this?"
Oh yeah.
Also,
yeah.
By the way, now that we are here, this ship has no excuse for there are no other medical personnel. This is like they're
I
not,
know.
They have to address this.
And he says they're going to need me. They're going to need much more than you.
Yeah, but right now they're like volunteer only on like basically a suicide mission. So I do feel like it may be hard to get new people, but hopefully after this they'll go back to Earth again and maybe pick up some new people.
That's not going to happen. Stephen made a really good point about that scene, which was Phlox says... He says that he and T'Pol are the only aliens on the ship. Why would he refer to himself as an alien?
That is weird, now that you say that. He would
refer to himself as a non-human.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
He self-identifies as an alien. That was an interesting scene. I mean,
I thought it was a great scene, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting experience just because Jolene Blalock has to play it so icy, so reserved, is that she doesn't feel like she's ever actually going to leave the show. She can't emotionally play the conflict, which is obviously there. And
it's weird that no one mentions her fiance, though. Like in this whole episode, he's not mentioned once.
I said that too. I wonder if she broke up with him off screen.
I have one more like big question. Is that I'm still really confused, and I get we're probably going to get this in the second half or the rest of the season, but I'm really confused about the purpose of the Xindi attack. And I know that we're going to get a lot of who are the Xindi, why are they doing this in the future, but the Shadow guy said that they were just testing their technology, but it seems strange to your test is also a suicide mission. Like this pilot knowingly went to die for the test. And also it would be weird to test your massive weapon on the country that or in this case planet that you're fight, because then you're like Earth doesn't even know that the Xindi exist, and now you're like alerting them to your existence. And now the humans may try to fight back, which is exactly what they're doing with Archer going off. So it just seems like a bad idea to test that way.
Well, getting back to the 9/11 of it all, the terrorists who were involved, that was a suicide attack. Yeah,
but it wasn't they weren't testing for the real future suicide attack.
Yeah, I missed the whole they were testing thing, actually.
No, they literally said it was a test that the reason why they have to go now is the Xindi are building another weapon that will destroy the Earth.
Yeah, and this one was just a little test before the bigger one.
Storytelling device that there's an unknown time clock, which I believe Archer references that. But the weird thing that I thought was they introduced the idea that there are going to be military troops on the Enterprise, and then we never meet the commander of these troops.
My guess is that they just haven't cast them yet because it's a new season, that they were probably going to wait to cast them, so they didn't want to like show them too soon.
I'm so glad you said that, because that was one of my notes is two things. One, this answers the question as to whether Starfleet is military, which we've been talking about forever. And two, I know this is Archer was so like, yeah, it's fine, we should definitely have military on board. Wouldn't it be nice? It's not going to happen, but wouldn't it be nice if Starfleet and the military just get along and are on the same page? It would be so different from every other situation like that every other trope we've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a disaster waiting to happen, because this other group, they're going to have this like whatever Earth Defense Force. They're going to have their like maybe not captain, whatever their person, commander, their commander. And now you have two leaders essentially that may have different ways that they want to do things. And it's definitely setting things up for a conflict.
Well, this gets into the issue that the show can't make up its mind about Archer. Is he the hothead or is he the Boy Scout? Agreed. And it's like, and I think right now they're leaning into the Boy Scout thing where he's like, oh, I don't want to kill people. I don't want to eject people. Like, he's a fucking cold-blooded killer when push comes to shove.
Absolutely.
But I just thought it was a weird idea not to introduce the commander character, to mention this person.
Yeah, it makes sense to me Hollywood-wise that they're
setting that up for
they're probably like, we want to spend some time figuring out the casting for that. And
all right, so I'm down to two little things. One is, and these are completely random, like one is around clothes. that sweater that Archer was wearing when he was casual was
Oh my
fire.
God. He
I
looked so
loved it.
good in that
He
last
looked
scene.
so good with the little V, like
Yeah, and
partial V.
it was
I
like
loved it.
plain and a normal, like there wasn't, but he looked so good in it.
So good. So good. I also made a note of he was eating at one point. I also made a note of what I could tell was on his plate. And it was grapes, cucumber, tomatoes, and then something yellow and lumpy, like maybe pasta, maybe chicken, I don't know. But I was like, what? That's a weird, like it was a small plate. It had all this stuff on it. It was very funny.
Fusion cuisine.
Yeah. And then they have the fight with the last fight with the Klingons at the very end before they
Right.
go into the Expanse. Shouldn't they maybe make some repairs before they go into the Expanse? Because they did take damage.
Right.
But they were like, okay, we're done with that. Let's go.
Yeah, I think they have to go in because otherwise the Klingons could follow them.
Right.
That
I
was
guess
that was my
sense.
assumption.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, final topic. How do you feel about how this episode set up season 3?
I like that we're going in a new direction.
Mhm.
I think the Suliban were kind of failures at being a big bad. And I like the idea of having a season-long arc and something. It just feels like the show is so meandering. And I
Yeah.
know that's how
That's the
obviously
point.
like that's how like TNG was, but for some reason TNG, I think it was meandering, but it was fun enough and
It
that
was
I
good.
didn't really
Right.
care. And with Enterprise, it just feels like we're not going anywhere. Like the characters aren't growing, and I want to see it move forward, and maybe having a more well thought out season long arc will help it.
I agree. I'm excited because we have been told that the second 2 seasons are much better than the first 2, so I'm excited to see that. I think this episode definitely was so much happened. It was interesting. It obviously we had a lot to talk about in it. And I think it was interesting and compelling to watch. I'm also sort of fascinated, like, as somebody who has seen pretty much all of Star Trek except for Enterprise, I have no idea what the Xindi look like. I have no idea.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I have no idea either.
Absolutely no idea. Like, I can't tell you. So that's kind of interesting because they're completely an Enterprise villain. So yeah. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to tell you guys was that when we were watching this, Steven said we actually own a painting that has a spoiler for Enterprise in it. And he was able to tell me about it only after this episode. So I have a picture of it that we'll put in the show notes. I'm going to send it to you guys.
Okay, so yeah, the painting has the little like laser.
It has
The Xindi probe lasering the ocean. Oh my god, that's
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny.
I bought this painting for Steven. It was a gift for him and never noticed
Oh,
that.
that's great.
Never was like, what is that?
Oh, and there's a little Borg down there at the cafe. Oh, I love this painting.
I love this
And
painting
the whales.
so
Oh my
much.
god, this is
And
so
do you
much
see-
fun.
And and there's Q in there in his little hat.
Oh, and there's Spock and Kirk and McCoy
There's-
having a campfire. Oh, this is lovely. I love this.
Isn't it a great little picture? So yeah, we'll put this in the show notes. I really love it. And I will, I need to look up the
yeah, I was
artist.
just about
I
to
will
say
do
you
that.
should find the artist.
I
so we
honestly
can-
don't remember, but
I
I'll find
love this.
My thoughts on this episode, it definitely felt like a statement of principle of like, we're heading in a new direction. It definitely felt like you didn't like the stuff we were doing before. We're leaving that. We're going to a whole new universe. It almost felt like, and Discovery did this much better, every season reset of Discovery. It was like, this is going to be something completely different than we have done before.
Yeah, I have one more episode left in season 3 of Discovery, and it does feel like at least these 3 seasons, every season feels like almost a completely different show.
Yeah, it's a new show.
But because the characters are the same, and you see the characters grow over the time, and the characters feel very internally consistent. It like has like a thread through every season, even though every season does feel like almost a completely different show.
Well, no, I mean, it felt like very much like Fringe was a show that reset every
love
single season.
Fringe.
Like Fringe was a completely different show every single season. Oh boy, and now we move on to our next section of the Second Contact, which is Memory Alpha, where Jamie tells us about a weird or funny page we found on Memory Alpha, the Wikipedia or the wiki page for all things canonically Trek. What do we got this week?
So this is a weird one. It's actually a personal story of a thing that happened to me this week, but Memory Alpha played a role in the story. So I just
this sounds like this is very much of an age, but this sounds like Jamie is setting up a Casey Kasem personal memory on the top where, dear Casey, my girlfriend and I were listening to.
So earlier this week, I had a package delivered to my house from Sephora. But I had not ordered anything from Sephora, so, a little weird, but sometimes we do get packages that aren't, they misdelivered or whatever. So I look at it, and the thing is, the address is my address on this package, but the name is not my name. It's a name that I've never seen before. So it seems like somebody else accidentally, had a typo in their address, and it
Sure.
got sent to me.
Sure.
But I'm like, I am someone who is like, look, the other day after an FKA Twigs concert, I found a driver's license on the ground, and by the time I got home on the train, I found that person on Instagram. I DM'd them.
Checks out.
I got their driver's license back to them. Like, that's the kind of person I am. So I'm looking at this package, and I'm like, okay, the name on this package is quite unique. So I am sure that I will be able to find this person on the internet. So I go to Google and I'm putting in her name, and I find a whole bunch of stuff about her. But unfortunately, she's not really on social media except for LinkedIn, and you can't send people messages on LinkedIn if you're not LinkedIn friends with them or whatever.
Maria, is this an Orphan Black situation where it's Jamie has got multiple clones that are running
Oh
around?
my god.
I swear this is going somewhere connected to our Memory Alpha segment. So I'm in the search results. I'm learning so much about this woman that I feel like I'm stalking her. I'm finding all her family members, but I still can't find a way to contact her to let her know that I have her package. So I'm going further into the search results, and suddenly I see a link to Memory Alpha. And I'm like, that's weird. Why would this random person who accidentally sent a package to my house, why would I be, by looking up her name, see a link to Memory Alpha? So I click on it. And it is a page for a Star Trek writer who wrote a couple episodes in DS9 and is apparently the father of the woman who accidentally sent her package to my
Good
house.
Lord.
So I don't want to say his
Right.
name because I don't want to dox her.
Of course.
But it is so funny that this Star Trek writer's daughter accidentally sent a package to my house. I figured out, because I was on the writer's page and I'm like, okay, that's weird. I left. And then further down in the Google results, I found a link to eBay where somebody was selling Star Trek memorabilia, which was like a newspaper article about this writer and being excited about his episode being on DS9 because it was a local newspaper, and it had a picture of him with his children and their
God.
names.
Their names.
So I was like, this is so weird. I still could not find contact information for her, but that night my doorbell rang and it was her. She figured out on her own that she had accidentally sent this package to my house
nice.
and came by. So I gave it to her and I was like, should I mention? I was like, I can't. I'm
Can't talk about
embarrassed the
cyberstalking
amount
this
of...
woman.
And I was, to be fair, cyber stalking for a good reason. I was
sure.
trying to find contact information for her, but it was very funny. When she showed up, I was flustered because now I feel like I know so much about her from all my Googling, but I don't want to tell her because it's embarrassing and I feel like a stalker.
Here's your Sephora package. Can I ask you some questions about Deep Space Nine?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure she's my neighbor.
Right.
There's 2 houses on my street that are 1 number off from mine that could very easily
That's how house numbering works, yeah.
Yep, had like where she could have accidentally put in my number. So I'm pretty sure she's my neighbor, but I can never ever ever mention this to her.
Now you're gonna find out she listens to this show.
I know. Oh God. Oh, please no.
So anyway, here's our next read alert, which is from
A very angry person.
Bitch, where's my Sephora package? She wants
Like,
to know.
I found a photo of you when you were 4 years old. You were so cute. Again, I swear I was not just trying to be nosy. I was trying to find contact information for this woman. But anyways, yeah, so that's today's memory alpha.
Incredible.
Wow, what a walk that was. And now we move into read alerts, which, allow me to remind you, is where we read, READ, messages that have been sent to us, and we alert you all to them. So, Jamie, what read alerts do we have?
So this one came in just like a couple of hours ago as we're recording, and it was a message on Blue Sky from a listener named Elia. They are currently on the Star Trek cruise and sent us a lovely photo of them on the cruise wearing a Porthos Appreciation Society shirt. They got it in the tie-dye, and it looked so good. I hadn't seen it in the tie-dye, and I was like, now I feel like I need another one, because on TeePublic you can get it in any color, and there is a tie-dye option, and now that I saw it, I'm like, I highly recommend. But more importantly, they sent us some fun intel from the Star Trek cruise. They said that Dominic Keating was there wearing a t-shirt with the Star Trek Delta in trans flag colors.
Oh, cool.
Which is so cool. Yeah.
So fantastic.
I know we complain about Malcolm as a character. We are not Malcolm fans, but I don't think that's the fault of Dominic Keating. No, I think
absolutely not.
I don't know if I would have called myself a Dominic Keating fan, but I think after hearing about this, I think I would. Like, it's such a deliberate choice to wear a shirt supporting trans Star Trek fans while on the Star Trek cruise, where like he knows people are going to see it and take photos, and you love to see it.
I love it.
It made me so happy to hear about that.
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know. Enterprise as a show, just feel like it doesn't always live up to like Star Trek ideals, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see that like a lot of the people involved in the show, like Dominic Keating, are living up to those ideals.
Do we need to go on the Star Trek cruise?
No.
Good Lord.
No, thank you.
Wow, that was just a downbeat.
I'm so happy for the people who want to do this. It is not for me.
I would do it.
Someone had a great post. I want to bring this up. When they were building Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars theme park, they built a theme hotel that was going to be like you were on a Star Wars spaceship. And you were going to go in, and it was supposed to be like a LARP event. Like you could go in with your family and have like a live-in event. And it was too expensive, and it failed, and now it's just a hotel for Disney. Someone had a great post where they said this was not going to work because Star Wars is about every individual being the hero of the story. What we needed to happen was a Star Trek hotel where you are on some sort of Star Trek thing. And then kids and families can go and be in engineering and everybody's like working together. I thought that was a fantastic idea. I was like, oh,
great idea.
Yeah.
Look, I love a con. I love cons.
Oh, yeah.
It's more that the things that I love about cons are not the celebrities. I actually just like don't really care that much about celebrities or seeing a celebrity or meeting a celebrity. And I think a lot of the Star Trek cons, that is kind of what they're about.
Right.
And I love that for the people who that's what they want to do. It is not for me. I actually just feel very uncomfortable around celebrities. I like, look, I feel like I don't have the parasocial relationship. So I look at them and I'm like, oh, you're like this cool actor whose life is so different from mine, and I have nothing in common with you, and I feel very uncomfortable being around you.
My big issue is I don't know that I'll ever go on a cruise again.
Right.
But I've been on the Joko cruise. I've been on a couple of sort of. That's to me the only way to do a cruise, because there's other stuff going on, because otherwise a cruise is kind of boring.
I didn't talk about it on the podcast, but like a couple months ago, I went to a Star Trek con that was in Chicago. It was fine. I mean, I walked around for a little bit. I chatted with some random actors, and then I was like bored. And what was fun is I hung out with Andy just like in the lobby and chatted with other Star Trek fans. And that's the part I really liked. But it was fun for like 2 hours. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to go home. So not for me, but I love it for the people who love it. And it makes me happy to see other people so excited about it. I think that there's just something wrong with me where I just feel uncomfortable around celebrities. It's a me thing.
And that is the episode. Thank you for listening. Next episode is our season 2 wrap up, hosted by Jamie. Fam, I cannot wait. What a strange journey we have been on.
I cannot believe we've made it this far.
It's
Me either.
Crazy. We have pledged to do a rewatch of Broken Bow, I believe, so that we can compare where we started and where we're at now. And this is going to be crazy. Special thanks to our producer, K.O. Myers at Particulate Media, and to our friend David for the beautiful cover art, and John Stephen King, as always, as the voice of our computer. Completely indispensable. If you like this show, please rate, review, and subscribe on your podcast app of choice and tell your friends about it. We appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook as Enterprise Splaining, and on Blue Sky as Enterprise Splain. You can also email us any comments or questions, such as, seriously, what was Duras doing in this episode? Why was he here? Is he still alive? I predict he still is alive, but let's find out. Yeah. Email us at enterprisesplaining@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And if you want to support this podcast, you can find us on Buy Me a Coffee as Enterprise Splaining. We will see you next week.
Bye.
KO, cut all the cruise stuff out.
Just in case Royal Caribbean ever wants to sponsor us.
The Enterprise Splaining, an entire cruise about bitching about how weird Enterprise is.
Stop recording.
Drew Leiter here with some exciting news. The Earth Station DCU podcast is officially evolving into the Legends of the DCU podcast. Cletus Jacobs and I are still diving deep into the DC universe every week, bringing you the same compassionate reviews of DC news, comics, television, and movies, but now with a fresh name, a bold new logo, and a brand new theme music to match the energy of the show. It's never been a better time to be a DC fan, and we can't wait for you to join us for this next chapter.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.